Hi everyone, thank you for joining us for the second part of the second episode of the coffee break video.
So we need a trilogy.
Let's see how this one goes. We might have the third part of the second coffee break video. We'll see how it goes. So we were talking in the first part about automation capabilities, how the industry is adopting those. They're becoming more prevalent and easy to get hold of. Self-service and self-help have also got a part to play. And we touched on what does this mean for analysts. We mentioned that some of them are perhaps a little bit frightened that this type of thing might be pushing their jobs away. What do we really think it means? So let's talk about management for one point of view. So we've got traditional KPIs that we've relied on as an industry for ages, so first contact resolution rate. And
well,
I know you're...
I personally think that service desks tend to hide a little bit behind the traditional KPIs.
Sure.
Or they don't have them at all. So there's a huge variation in the industry actually. So some
I see more the second one.
Yeah.
A lot more the second one.
See. So sometimes it's about saying, well, what do you do, and how do you know you're doing it? So that we have that conversation quite often, and the KPIs obviously should support what they're trying to achieve. But yeah, I think you're right, there is an element sometimes of, we'll keep measuring this because this is a nice number, it's a good green number.
We're used to it.
So we'll keep doing it. And that shows that we're delivering value. And yes, there may be a fear there that automation takes away our ability to smash one particular metric. Although, I would say it's about business value and the quality of the conversations that you're actually having with the leaders of IT, but also the organisational leaders. Nobody wants to phone up a service desk to get a password reset. They just simply don't. But they do like to talk to people. And IT, in past years, it may be that IT was not seen as somewhere a support function that wanted to talk to its customers. The rise of the service desk and the professionalisation of the service desk means that we absolutely do want to talk to the customers. And IT is framing everything as a service. So everything is as a service these days, not as a support cost.
And do you know that I've seen a lot more of that actually. I know we're going off topic a bit, but that service thing is becoming much more prevalent in the customers that I certainly speak to and see. It's not about we're going to fix that or we're going to give you a new one of them. It's about the service.
Yes. So with service comes the obvious question: well, what's the KPI behind the service? How do we know we're delivering a service effectively? So I think that broadens the picture in terms of what we're going to measure and what kind of value we can hope to see coming out of a good service desk operation.
The one thing I know we're moving through this one because there's so much to talk about.
There might be a third part now.
There may be actually. I think what's always been difficult, certainly as a practitioner and as watching the industry, is the adoption of these things. Right. So if you've spent all that wonderful money and you've got a wonderful self-help, self-support, whatever you want to call it, portal, but you got your adoption rate which is 5%. Then what's the point?
It's one of the most widely it's the biggest challenges people whenever we engage with them is we can't get people to use our self-service portal.
But again, I'm going to query that. If we're offering a service, then what we do is we offer multiple routes for people to access a service. And if that's understood by the business, then again we are allowing our users that we used to say in the old days to be true customers of the service. So it doesn't matter if it's only 5% because those 5% really value what we're doing. So again, for me, it's about the valuable conversations that we're now having with our organisations to say, what do you want? How do you want us to give it to you? Is it working for you? And actually, how are we going to support your growth or your strategy in the future? And how are we actually going to make sure that we do things better in the future?
So you're saying that we speak to the rest of the organisation, that's what they want? That's amazing. Let's go to
revolutionise IT support.
The Carla method.
It's not again though.
I see this all the time.
And I make fun of that. I make fun of that. But it's true. It's true, isn't it? It's true. The number of organisations where I see service desks behind a grey door, and they don't go outside the grey door. That grey door is where they start and where they finish. It's incredible. It's still happening.
That is still happening. But the flip side, I've seen organisations where they value the service desk so highly that actually the service desk manager is struggling to keep the analysts because the analysts are just, oh my gosh, they've got skills that the rest of us want, and that's not just technical skills anymore. That's very much process skills. That's very much business-focused skills. So we see, this is the wonder of this job. You see every extreme, and you see that continuum for me, which is driving us away from being a cost and up to being business value.
And similarly for me, we go to organisations, we see kind of that proactive side where they're delivering that proactive support, and the analysts that they bring in Instead of, they used to be technical, then they used to be customer focused, and now the most successful ones have worked in the business in some other areas. They come and they bring that kind of understanding of business objectives.
I think there's a whole another session we can do on that, because I've got some brilliant examples of how organisations can adapt what they do to make that happen.
Yeah.
And when you talk about value, for me, it really is value. There's another whole piece there as well.
Yeah. And we barely talked about KPIs, so perhaps
we've definitely got part 3 of episode 2 coming up. So we'll wrap it up there and we'll jump straight back in for part 3. Hope to see you all there.